You're listening to Monco Radio, where music and minds meet.
It's time to get in the ring with DJ D.
Yes, it is. It's time to get in the ring with DJ D. Kooks here on a cloudy Thursday morning here on Monco Radio, where music and minds meet on the campus of Montgomery County Community College here.
It's supposedly going to rain on this Thursday, November 3rd, 2016. We're within a week of Election Day. We're 5 days away from Election Day. It's amazing. It's going to be completely insane considering SEPTA strike. It's going to be nuts for everyone that's actually going to go vote in the city.
My uncle, who used to work for SEPTA as a manager, said the SEPTA strike is probably going to last 2 weeks to a month.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little
pandemonium.
Nuts. Yeah, it's going to be a little nuts. So hopefully everyone can get around. Hopefully everyone can get to.
How have you been getting to work? Because I know you've been.
Actually, it's much easier than you think. It's actually a shuttle. Yeah, like I get to regional rail station. I live close to two of them, and then there's a shuttle we take into once we get into the city, which makes it actually very accessible. It's just a matter of timing this as to when you can catch it. If you can catch it, then you're fine. If you don't, then it's
screwed.
Tricky. It's a very tricky situation. So it's really a matter of
you're walking,
or in my case, I have my scooter. Obviously, as people know. I can just ride the scooter down, so it's a tricky situation there.
Yes, we have a couple of things to go over today. We have Hell in a Cell. Me and Beast Mike have differing opinions.
We disagree on all three matches, and you'll hear all three as we go. But we disagree on all three matches.
Raw.
Yep.
Smackdown, another great Smackdown.
Yes, it was.
And NXT. Smackdown blew Raw away this week.
Absolutely, it did.
It wasn't even close.
This is not a fair fight. Smackdown clowned Raw, and it was not a fair fight.
Now we get into Hell in a Cell here.
Yes. The triple main event they've been advertising for weeks. The three Hell in a Cells in Boston. So we're gonna go in order, or what are we gonna do?
We're gonna go in order.
Okay.
Because I thought all three matches were important.
Yeah.
But in the scope of things, I have hot takes on two of them.
Okay.
And
you loved the third.
I loved
the other one.
I loved Owens and Rollins.
Yep. All right.
So, WWE United States Championship match inside Hell in a Cell. I have Meltzer's ratings. I have Voices of Wrestling's ratings here. Roman Reigns defeated Rusev.
Now, to me, I thought Rusev was the most comfortable of the people debuting inside Hell in a Cell. Obviously, it's both women, Rusev and Kevin Owens. I thought Rusev was the most comfortable. He seemed the most relaxed. He seemed the most prepared and ready for the structure itself.
I disagree.
He didn't put the most use into it.
And that's one of my complaints.
That goes to Owens. He didn't put the most use and creativity into it, which I wish he would have. And I did like the brutality of the match. Like there was a lot.
I don't think it was that brutal at all.
There were a lot of moments where they brought a lot of physicality involved in it. Rusev actually wore shoes this time, but you know he doesn't wear shoes. He normally wears shoes. You could hear those kicks when he caught Roman clean in the jaw. And I did love the spot where he used the accolade on the steps and then used the
What
chain.
effect does that do? What effect does putting someone on steps do? How am I supposed to suspend my disbelief to put somebody on steps? How is that going to make it hurt worse?
The steps part I'll buy. The chain part I thought was
I felt the chain part was fine.
Yeah.
But I thought this would have been okay as a no DQ match. But inside a cell, you're supposed to use the cell.
Yes.
You're supposed to.
And Roman didn't use it at all, which I was disappointed in.
Roman didn't use it at all. Rusev barely used it.
Yeah.
I feel like they wrestled, and I didn't think it was a good weapons match either. I don't think.
I mean, the
Some of
use
the
of the cane was fine. I thought
the chain was fine.
The chain was fine.
The
cane
steps was
fine.
awkward.
Yeah, the steps could have been done better, but the chain and the cane I thought were used fine.
And I felt the intensity was very down. And this match was very long. And
It was longer than it probably should have been.
I was checking my clock at like 5 minutes in.
Yeah, this
I wanted this to be over. This was like a Noah main event that goes too long. Let's see how long this match was, because Meltzer
probably 5 minutes too long.
25 minutes.
Yeah, this lasted 5 minutes too long. I will buy that part. This did last 5 because they got off to a very slow start, and then once they both got in the rhythm, then they got going. And they kind of teased the table spot, but never used the actual table, which I thought was disappointing.
And I feel like both these guys are miscast.
Maybe
Because
I mean, they
you
work
look
well
at-
together.
you
but
look-
it's
You look at the way Rusev has been built. He's been built as a flat-out babyface. With him hurting his family, bringing up his family.
They did make him sympathetic for that one.
They made him sympathetic.
For that one, yeah.
And Roman is more of a bully.
In that instance, yes.
I thought the whole feud, Roman's more of a bully.
Yeah, and the Lana thing, yeah, okay. When he shoved when he knocked Rusev into Lana and Lana spilled it into the cake. Okay, fine. Rusev does come off a little bit more sympathetic. I don't know if I'll go babyface. I'll go sympathetic figure. Rusev still the whole hating America thing, the whole I'm the greatest U.S. champion ever thing, like the whole arrogant thing with Lana and Rusev. I won't go babyface.
But there was
I'll
none
go
of that
sympathetic
in
figure.
the last month of the feud.
No,
It was
straight violence. It was straight brutality between
And
the two.
there was none of that in this match. None.
Not as escalated as it should have been. It should have been more. Which of the three, I think this was the weakest. But I think that it was.
I
Still
thought it was the weakest. I gave it 2.5.
2 3/4 for me. I didn't love it like I wanted to. The spear off the steps I thought was nice. That was a good way to
I
close
thought
it.
if you didn't put a cell around it, the match would have been exactly the same. And that's one of my
disappointing.
knocks on any Hell in a Cell match.
They have to
because
actually use the cell.
They actually have to use the cell. And I would put this. I gave it 2.5. I gave the women's 2 3/4. And
Ooh, no.
yeah, Meltzer gave it 2 3/4.
I highly disagree with both of you.
And Rollins Owens 4, a straight 4.
I can live with the Rollins Owens one, but I highly disagree with you on the women.
We'll talk about that later.
Yep.
Rich Craich gave it 3 1/4. Meltzer gave it 3 1/4. I think that's way too generous for this match.
Yeah,
Sherry Kinney gave it 2.5,
I'll go 2
and Kelly
3/4.
Harass gave it 2 3/4.
I'll go 2 3/4. I thought it was a match that was solid, respectable way to start it, but it was 5 minutes too long, and I wish they would have used the cell better.
Bayley versus Dana Brooke.
Hopefully
Bayley,
this rivalry
I
ends.
don't want to say this to piss people off, but
They're
Bayley's failing on the main roster.
They're slow
She's
playing.
failing.
No,
She is failing.
They're putting her with Dana. What's she
Did you
supposed to do?
Did you see the Raw talk after the pay-per-view?
I watched a little bit of it.
Did you see the Bayley promo? That was god-awful.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
That was
Yeah.
And this is a failure of the Performance Center, because the Performance Center teaches you to read off a script.
Right.
Basically.
Right. They
Not
don't
think
teach
off
you
your
to
feet,
don't
not
teach you
do
to
anything
ad-lib.
like that.
Don't
And
teach
only
you
a
to
few
ad-lib.
people in that company can do that. That's why Talking Smack is so great, because Daniel Bryan can think off his feet,
Right.
Miz can think off his feet.
Right.
You
Cena
have
can
all
do
the
it,
guys
yeah.
that can think off their feet
Yeah.
on SmackDown.
Yeah, Miz, Bryan, Ambrose, Cena,
American Alpha.
Alpha can do it. AJ can sort of do it. That is disappointing. This is why this Raw one's going to probably fail horribly, because the only people on Raw that can think off their feet are Owens and Jericho, and maybe Rollins.
No, Rollins can't think off his feet. Are you kidding me?
It's going to be actually you're right. Rollins was off script, but Owens and Jericho can think off their feet. But other than those two, I don't love it. I don't love this.
Raw talk was awful.
Yeah, Raw talk's going to fail.
Like, Roman's promo was cringeworthy. The Bayley one was more cringeworthy because you have a potential star here.
Yes, you do.
You have a potential
they're-
merch-selling star, and
My problem is
you
that
don't
they're slow-
teach her.
But they're still playing her with
I don't
Dana.
care about the slow playing.
Okay.
I don't care about that. It's failing. It's failing. Because they are too conservative, A.
Sure. Oh, yeah, well,
B,
yeah, that's true.
B, and I'll get to the point later, the women shouldn't have main evented. In my eyes.
Well,
in my eyes, I've been devil's advocate.
You were.
I've been devil's advocate. The women shouldn't have main evented. They blew their load in one shot, and they can never build up a women's main event like that again.
I disagree. I thought that they
but
did a very good
no,
job, but
it's like
we'll
this.
get to it.
I thought the build was very okay, and Mick Foley just shouting.
Foley as the conscious, I think he had to do that. I don't. It was a really good promo.
because Foley made you think, oh, they're going to do a brutal Hell in a Cell match when 99% of the people know they're not going to do that.
Actually, that was I did read a little bit about in between the tree leaves on that. That was talked about that they could have gone even further when they climbed to the top of the soil. It was actually even talked about.
Right,
but Vince shot it down.
But
Vince did shoot it down.
You
it was talked about. That they were going to go even deeper than what
I'm not going to give the women the pass. They were the main event of the show. I'm not going to give them a pass because they're women.
And nor should you. Because
it was a 2 and 3. It was a decent match. I'm not saying, but the beginning of the match was too tropey for me. It was way too tropey. Because in WWE land, you have to always have the babyface have insurmountable odds. You can't have the heel just be better.
You don't think Charlotte's better than Sasha? I do.
I think Charlotte's better than Sasha, but you don't see that. It's just she injured her before. Sasha has all the odds against her, and Charlotte, and she doesn't overcome them. Instead of Charlotte was just better on this night. They can't do that. And the 50-50 booking with Charlotte and Sasha has been pissing me off, too.
No, they're keeping... No,
I think they're trying to...
I represent the Tree on that. We'll get to that when we get to that match. But I did represent the Tree on that one, too.
You can see my thought process with that match.
I see where you're going, but I actually did read even more into it with Charlotte and Sasha. I'll get to it when we get to that match. Bayley Dana, I'm glad this is finally ending.
It was a 2-star special. Bayley did not look good.
This was the definition of a cool-down match. Bayley did not look comfortable. Dana didn't look great. Then again, she really hasn't. Definition of a cool-down flow. Bayley wins. At least we can finally end this thing with
And
Bayley
the crowd
Dana.
wasn't into it.
The crowd was dead because
the crowd wasn't into it past Bayley's entrance.
Yeah, the crowd was out of it after Roman and Rusev. So that effectively took everything out
I
of
thought
it.
the crowd heard it too. I thought the crowd heard the
did.
Hell in a Cell, the women's Hell in a Cell match too. It wasn't a rousing hometown ovation.
No, it was the big pops for the 2 entrances, and that's it. And then the
crowd was dead.
And then the spots, Boston was normally a good wrestling town. The
crowd was worn out after the Owens Rollins Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, they were.
And
that was probably their version of main event, honestly.
It was
which
more...
is sad because I thought the women should have main evented. But I think that the women... I
could defend Owens Rollins being the main event more than Charlotte Sasha because they haven't built this feud up enough. They haven't...
They didn't build up Rollins and Owens nowhere near as
I know. But you need... But this pay-per-view had no definitive main event.
True.
You could have gotten away with Owens and...
That's what I'm saying. It's not now when.
You have to build up to something. You can't just blow your load in one shot.
But they built that up. They
didn't really build it up. I disagree. I totally disagree.
They built that up over the summer.
I know, but the 50-50 booking hurts it.
True, the hot potato with the title hurts it, sure.
Because they could just do the they could just do Charlotte was basically better, Dana interfered, do that, and then you could build up to the Hell in a Cell match. I thought the Hell in a Cell match was enough for the women. I thought the Hell in a Cell was enough.
So you think they were worthy of the cell?
I don't think they were worthy of the main event of the show.
Okay.
And especially after seeing the match they put on, I thought the meat of the match was good, but let's just get to it right now. Charlotte Sasha. Because I thought Meltzer rated 2 3/4. Rich, they voices the guys all rated it 4 because they were sunk in the moment.
Yeah,
it was more sunk in the moment.
That's part of why I rated it as high as I did. That's part of the reason why I rated it as high as I did.
What did you rate it?
I went 4 1/4.
4 1/4? Are you insane?
Because it's the moment.
Are you insane?
The moment it caused. It's the moment it caused. It was not.
But no one was talking about it the next day. The conversation cooled down an hour after the main event happened.
Because they jumped the Survivor Series in Goldberg.
Because, no, it's not that. If they had really had something special, you would be talking about it all the time. That Bayley Sasha match was way more important than
I will agree with that.
There were several NXT women's matches that were more important than
Sasha matches in NXT.
The first takeover match between Paige and Emma was more important than this one.
I won't buy that. No, the NXT's had much more.
The four-way was more important than this match. The Charlotte and Sasha the first time in NXT was more important than this match.
Considering what they would become?
Yes.
That's fair.
So
that one may be fair considering what they would become.
So Bayley Asuka even is more important than this match.
The second time.
Yeah, the second time.
The first time, no. The second time, yes.
Yes, because Bayley losing the title.
Bayley losing the title was a shocker, but we knew it was coming. It was the fact that it was Bayley's last match and her passing the torch to Asuka. That's fair. I'll buy it. It's the fact that they took this step to say,
I know it's taking the step.
It took the step.
I know it's taking the step.
Unlike Reigns and Rusev, they actually used the sell. And then
they actually used the sell. I like the meat of the match. Don't get me wrong. The finish hurt it, and the beginning hurt it because
I like the beginning.
I did not like the beginning at all.
I was perfectly fine with the beginning.
Because it's way too tropey. They're using the tropes. It's boring. Everyone knew she was going to get off the stretcher when
True.
And it's tropey. I'm tired of these freaking WWE tropes.
So you
that are so predictable.
Straight up and then Charlotte powerbomb her during the match.
Yeah. That would have helped the match more.
I
thought the beginning hurt the match. That's why I rated it where I did 2 3/4. Meltzer rated it 2 3/4. He showed balls. Meltzer showed balls rating it 2 3/4 because that's what the rating deserved, not 4 1/4. Because I thought like the middle of the match was like the middle, like when Sasha
got back into the cell.
It was great.
That's
it was great.
Yes,
but the finish sucked.
The
finish sucked.
That's why
because
I watched it over
they didn't jerry-rig the table to break because Sasha only weighs 95 pounds soaking wet.
Yes,
and
I wish they would have did like a moonsault off a table spot as opposed to or the natural selection off the top rope as opposed to a normal natural selection. That would work for me.
It felt more like a Raw match than a pay-per-view main event.
As in, you think it was better off main eventing a Raw?
Yes. I felt the main event of Raw was more important than this match. I agree.
Significance? No, I won't go that far.
Historical significance, I feel like out the window because no one was talking about it after Hell in a Cell. No one was talking about it in the water cooler.
They moved on immediately to Survivor Series.
Yeah, I know that, but if they truly had a special match, you would be talking about it despite what they're promoting.
I'll agree with that. I'll buy that one.
That's why it wasn't a special match.
That part is fair.
It wasn't special. The stuff they did was good. Don't get me wrong. But it didn't have that special feel that some...
You think it should have?
It should have. And partially, it's because they blew their load in one shot. There are many other pay-per-views in the year. There are many other times you could do it. They could do this long-term where they could... long-term booking.
But you have to figure Bayley into this in the women's picture at some point.
I know. That's why I would take Sasha out.
Yeah.
Sasha stinks. Sasha stinks. I'm sorry.
I can't go that far.
I'm sorry. Sasha.
Yeah,
let me defend my point.
Yeah, go.
You look at her promos. She shouldn't be a babyface. She shouldn't be.
Yeah, she's a heel. She's definitely a heel. No, I totally agree there.
But
she's a heel.
She's sloppy in ring. And I feel like Bayley and Charlotte would have it better.
Would be great.
And if you think Sasha's the focal point of this women's division, you're out of your mind.
It's clearly Charlotte.
Charlotte's been the best.
I told you when it came up. It's Charlotte. I told you when it came up. I love Charlotte.
Charlotte's proved that to me.
Yes.
Sasha hasn't proved anything to me.
I told you when it came up. It was Charlotte. To me, it was
Sasha hasn't proved anything to me since she's been on the main roster.
To me, when I told you when it came up, to me the pecking order was Charlotte, Becky, Sasha. I told you Charlotte.
I would put Becky ahead of Sasha.
Yeah, Charlotte, Becky, Sasha. Sasha.
I would put Bayley ahead of Sasha.
I think Bayley will have a better feud. considering how Bailey would.
I would put Nia Jax ahead of Sasha.
I'm not going to get carried.
I'm not
Nia
saying
still can't quite move as well as she should have. She should be able to. Nia's a good foil to a face women's champion. I will go that route, but I can't put her ahead of Sasha. Sasha does put on very good matches. My thinking.
What quintessential match you can point to on the main roster that Sasha Banks has had?
Obviously, the 2 Raw matches with Charlotte.
But they were 3.5 stars. 4-star matches. Come on. You can't think of any.
The triple threat with Becky and Sasha?
No.
The Becky and Charlotte? No, really, no.
No.
You
That's
don't
a
go for that
3
one?
and 3/4.
I
thought that match was more important.
That one was more important than this one. I totally agree with that one.
Because it was WrestleMania mix spot.
And it was absolutely the best match on that card.
It was the best match on that card. It was a 4-star match.
But
that was more due to Becky and Charlotte than Sasha. That's how I feel. I don't want to get carried away saying Sasha stinks.
You're discrediting Sasha a little bit.
But I don't feel Sasha is the star that everyone thinks she is.
Wow, you're probably got a favor on Sasha because when they came up, you loved her.
I know. She hasn't proved anything to me. She has not.
Okay.
I've been clamoring for the Sasha Banks I saw in NXT. Not this version of Sasha Banks.
Because they're putting her as a face and she's not a face.
I know,
She's
but she should still be putting on great matches, but she's not.
Here lies the problem. Raw has two heels, which are Nia and Charlotte, and 2 faces, which are Sasha and Bailey. If Raw had another face as a woman, a woman's wrestler, you could easily turn Sasha heel, and now you've got something.
I know. Bailey can be the only face. Come on.
Bailey could be the only face.
Bailey can be. Come on.
She probably could and face them all. She probably could. And then whenever
because you can do the long Daniel Bryan build with Bailey because Bailey's so damn sympathetic.
That's the way. And Bailey's the right person to beat Charlotte and have the long reign with.
I'm not saying Sasha was a bad match. I might go 3 stars on it, but to be a quintessential man,
you think Sasha's been disappointing?
Yes,
I think that's the word you're thinking of.
Disappoint.
She's been disappointing.
She's been a huge disappointment.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I just got real passionate about that.
You thought Sasha would be the one to carry, and as we've seen,
I knew Charlotte would be the one that carried.
But you thought Sasha would be the one to carry this division, but in truth, it's actually Charlotte that's carrying. She doesn't lose. In title matches on pay-per-views, 13-0, she does not lose in title matches. She's just that productive. The cell match in between
was Owens and Rollins.
And
I thought this was fantastic.
I did enjoy this match.
This was fan-freaking-tastic.
Even the Jericho interference made sense.
Yeah, the Jericho, they made everything make sense. I didn't care an iota about this match.
And you were going to hate this match. You going into this, you were going to hate this match. And
I didn't care an iota.
You sure didn't. You really didn't. Like last week, we talked about this.
I gave it a 0.
Yeah, you were absolutely. I gave it maybe a 5 or 6 or something because I thought they would actually use the cell pretty well. I thought the creativity of Rollins.
Maybe I gave it a 2 or 3.
No, I think you were down to 0.
I was down to 0.
You were down to 0.
No, I wasn't down on the ring work per se.
You were
down
on the interest level. Your
interest
level was way low because you didn't care about the feud. And I gave it a 5 or 6, something like that, because I was thinking, okay, I think they're going to both be creative enough to use the cell as well as they should. And I enjoyed this match from start to finish because of the way they did it and the way they used it. And even the psychology of Owens and how he was going towards the cell, he got nervous and then went into the cell like, you know what, let's go with it. Let's do it. And let's get it in. I enjoyed even that. And Jericho's interference even made sense. Let's face it.
And that powerbomb spot was insane.
I couldn't believe it.
Owens did a literal sit-up.
Yeah.
Owens literally did a sit-up for Rollins.
Yeah. For Rollins to get him up, and then Rollins dropped him through 2 tables. And he drops the one that's propped up in the corner like it's slanted, and then the second one that's on the ground. It was ridiculous.
This was easily the match of the night.
It was
easily.
I really enjoyed this match.
I went straight 4 on it.
Which why I went 4 too, but obviously I told you before I like Bailey. I like the story that Sasha and Charlotte told a little better. So that's why I enjoyed that a little bit more. Yeah, she wanted the conclusive finish, with Owens and Rollins, but you knew you were going to get one as long as
I know I wasn't going to get it. It didn't bother me.
Well, even that, like, I was like, a little leery on that one, but I was like, okay, I understood what was going to happen, so it was okay.
I think
fine.
year 4 1/4 on that women's match is insane. I really do.
Okay.
Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson beat Enzo Amore because
they had to.
Comments.
They had to win that match.
It was a 2-star special.
Yeah, I mean, Enzo on the mic was great, but they had Anderson and Gallows had to win that match. They absolutely had to. The key moving forward in this tag team division, they had to. Enzo and Cass are effectively Teflon because they sell as many shirts as they do, and their mic work is outstanding. So they're basically Teflon. But Enzo and Cass had to win. But Carl Anderson and Gallows had to win that match. They had to.
What should we should come up with a new name for TJ Perkins because TJ Perkins gets no reactions.
Wow.
It's ugly.
Yeah, the cruiserweight.
It's failed.
Yeah, he gets no love. Like Kendrick gets love, and Swan gets love, and Alexander gets love. No other cruiserweight really gets any pops, and it's bizarre what happened there. He got hustled point blank. Period. He got hustled by Kendrick.
The match wasn't even that good.
It really wasn't. No, not the Champions. The Classic Champions was much better than this. But he got
the Raw match was much better than this.
The Raw one that Kendrick won. Yeah, I agree with you. Both matches were better than this. Either Raw or the Raw match and the Clash of Champions, and then the Raw with Kendrick won to get this title shot in the first place.
And then you're insulting my intelligence booking. I'm like, oh god.
You knew it was coming.
I know it was coming, but why? Why?
That's why I didn't even say anything about it.
Toe Jam Perkins. That's what Don Tony calls him, Toe Jam Perkins. Because
wow,
I really soured on him.
That's savage. I like his in-ring skill.
I like his in-ring too, but no one cares about him.
He's too nice.
He's a skateboard away from being 1989 Bart Simpson.
Yeah, he's too nice. He's way too nice. He really is. He doesn't have that killer instinct in him for some reason. I don't know why that is. He just doesn't have. He showed a little bit of it on Raw on Monday, but he doesn't have that killer instinct in him. It's not natural killer instinct. It's just not.
He's.
I like Perkins, but it's just not a natural killer instinct. I don't think he has that yet.
Let's talk about the other cruiserweight match, which was way better than this one.
Yeah, the six-man was fine. The
six-man was good.
It was good. With Alexander Swan and Sin Cara
versus Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, and Ariya Daivari.
That was a solid match. And everyone got their spots in. Everyone got their aerial game in. You saw more of a ground game from the heel team. But in the end, it was Alexander with the lumbar check. I believe he did it on Gulak to get it Gulak to get it done to get the pin. But that was a solid match. It was a solid 3-star match, or 3 1/4 even to go through with that.
And then Sheamus and Cesaro
versus New Day, which I don't like how they're playing New Day as they get closer to this record. I don't like how they're playing New Day.
The only reason why they're doing this record is because Demolition's suing them.
Yeah, I get that. That's
New Day is boring,
and that's fun. I don't like how they play them in this match. Like
New Day is boring.
They made Cesaro and Sheamus look like super strong in this match, and I get it. Woods probably shouldn't have been in it. It should have been Kofi, but it was. They made New Day look super weak in this match, and for a tag team championship that's been held over now closer to 440 days now, you can't do that to the tag team champions. I wish they would have played New Day off better.
I was
in that
bored
situation.
during this match,
and the match itself I thought was okay. I was content with the match. I hated the ending. I would have liked to rather see New Day steal the match, but I hated the ending. I really did. With Kofi getting them disqualified because Sheamus used the trombone on Big E, I hated the ending. But New Day keeps the belts. They keep going to the captains for the Survivor Series team, as they should be, because they've been the best team in the company for the last year and change. So I agree that they're the captains. But it was. I wish that match would have gone better. That was an ugly way to finish that.
As if we only had 7 to 9 hours of programming a week. We get another because 205 Live.
Yeah, 205 Live, which will run in the place where Talking Smack was.
But Talking Smack will occur after 205 Live.
So, I'll give them another extra.
I don't like this decision.
I'm okay with the Cruiserweight show. I wish it was Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
It should be Wednesday. I think Wednesday would be the perfect way to do it. Do it at Full Sail and do it with Graves and Ronaldo. Let them go to work on it like Ronaldo did with Daniel on the Cruiserweight Classic. I think that would work out much, much better.
The names that were announced for this, it's
usual
Mauro Ranallo
suspects.
and Corey Graves.
They're doing commentary.
They're doing commentary. Kendrick, Perkins, Swan, Dar, Ho-Ho Lon. Oh, God, I have to see Ho-Ho Lon. Cedric Alexander, Lindsay Dorado, Grand Metalik,
Mascara Dorado.
Akira Tozawa,
Yep.
Jack Gallagher. I can't wait to see Jack
I
Gallagher.
want to see Gallagher. I want to see Gallagher too. He's gonna be so sick in this match. And then the Bollywood Boys.
Bollywood Boys plus Arya Daivari, Drew Gulak, and Tony Nese.
Yeah, so no, they're gonna be good. There's gonna be good competition involved in this. And I want put it in Full Sail and let the Full Sail crowd understands. And I think I think you'll get the pops and the reactions that you should, because it's dying on Raw. It needs not to be on Raw.
Yeah, I like the move of having their own show.
Yes, I think that's a smart decision. I just it's dying on Raw, and then you add in Sin Cara, add in Neville, add in Kalisto, add in all the cruiserweights,
and they're doing it at 10 p.m. live. Are you kidding me?
Which is why I would do it after NXT on Wednesdays.
You can still tape it before Smackdown.
You do it at 9, and then you keep moving. You do it at 9
because people are not going to stay after Smackdown for 205 Live.
Right.
They're not.
No matter how much and how well Ronaldo can promote it. No, they won't. They'll watch it, but it won't be live. Most of it won't be live.
No, people won't stay in the crowd.
Oh, well, that's true. That's what I'm saying. Put it in Full Sail. Let the NXT people have it. I think it'd be much better there, because they easily appreciated it the most. I think you put it in Full Sail.
Yeah.
Simple way to solve this. So we're going to jump to Raw, or where you want to go?
The TNA stuff, that was...
Yeah, Dixie Carter actually won. I can't believe she won that game.
She won because...
I can't believe she won.
Billy...
I can't believe she won. Not only did she win, now Corgan might even get his money back. They don't have to truly repay him for all the money he loaned out in Tennessee, so he might not even get his money back for that.
I know.
So Corgan lost twice. Corgan took 2 L's in this situation.
I knew he was going to lose the injunction. I knew that because legally in Tennessee you can't, because somebody posted a law. But it's sad. It's just sad. This company.
He can't. Dixie Carter is state you want to talk about survivor, survival? Dixie Carter knows how to survive. She really does. She's
not a good businesswoman. I'll tell you that much.
She's not, but she knows how to survive. It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing that woman finds a way to win somehow, even though she shouldn't. She has no reason or business to win, but she finds a way to do it.
And speaking of news, Pro Wrestling Noah got sold.
That's interesting.
To SB, an IT company. We don't know the stakes of Bushi Road, which owns New Japan, and their involvement in this, but I'll read you the story. Pro Wrestling Noah, which has been one of the strongest promotions in the world for a decade, but has been struggling for survival over the last recent years, was purchased by SB, an IT company. Masayuki Uchida, who at one point replaced Keiji Muro as president of All Japan Pro Wrestling, has been put in charge with his title chairman of Pro Wrestling Noah. In recent years, Noah has been funded by New Japan Pro Wrestling. New Japan paid for the foreigners and other salaries sent Jado as co-booker of New Japan to book the company, and sent over Suzuki-gun, a heel group led by Minoru Suzuki and others, to feud with Noah regulars in the main event. The sale was quickly put together by Naomichi Marufuji's first meeting with SB was on 10/10, and the sale was completed on 10/31.
This took 3 weeks. That was quick.
SB released a statement saying, SB has been looking to raise funds to get into new areas of business. While we have no business history with pro wrestling, Mr. Uchida has a connection to Noah and decided to breathe new life into the company. New Japan owner and Bushi Road president Takaki Kadani said he was very surprised to hear of the news, although it's difficult to believe he wasn't kept in the loop. New Japan owned minority interest in Noah, and over the past few years has attempted to revitalize the promotion. It's it had some success early, but late it's gotten worse. Blah 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 blah. Since Misawa died and the economy and TV stopped airing pro wrestling due to financial cuts, and Kenta was also hurt, and Kenta leaving.
Hideo Itami, of course.
Hideo Itami. Now Michi Marufuji, who has been running the company with Akira Taue, had worked with the Tokyo Chamber of Commerce to look for new sponsors because the business was losing money due to declining attendance. SB was a company that had gotten new capital and was looking to expand its own business. And although they had no connection to pro wrestling, Uchida did and laid out plans to use the money to help rebuild Noah. The new board of directors will be Uchida, Yosuke Furukawa, Daisuke Aito, and Taue as an advisor.
Now, Furukawa, I think, is the president, and Aito is going to be the director, and Taue is the advisor. So, yes.
I'll read the last two paragraphs. The announcement is expected to be made publicly at the 11/3 show at Corkin Hall, although the news has already been reported by the Japanese media. While the Noah vs. New Japan program was very heated at first, it was never able to turn the struggling business around, and many of the shows have drawn 200 to 300 fans. And they have also cut back on the use of the foreigners as cost-cutting measure, as even Chris Hero and Colt Cabana, who got over strong as a tag team over a feud with Archer and Smith, hasn't been used in a long time. And TNA also lost a UK deal as well due to spoilers.
Right. So
unbelievable, this company.
Of course. So,
unfreaking believable.
I do like this sale, though. And I like how escrow is going to kind of stay out of it and only really stay into it on the financial aspects of it, but let the people who know wrestling and understand the workings of the SB and understand the workings on the company and understand the workings of wrestling and the inner workings of wrestling and the bookings and all that good stuff. They're going to leave it to those that actually understand it and know it. I do like that. They're kind of staying out of it and only in it for the financials particulars. So I think that's actually pretty smart of them to do that. I'm actually totally with this. I think this could actually be successful.
Yeah, I think it could be successful too. The key is what's Bushiroad's involvement.
Yeah.
Because New Japan and Bushiroad signed some names to go to Noah, like Go Shiozaki and Katsuhiko Nakajima.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I would imagine at the very least, at the jump, they're going to have New Japan's going to be involved in this at the very least, and maybe they'll have a partnership, and maybe they'll collabo and like send like their guys over in their promotion to Noah, and then send Noah guys over to New Japan and kind of cross promote and kind of bring even more awareness to both sides. I think even that's possible. But yes. I like where this is going. I think it's a really good idea for Noah to get together and get this done. And the fact that they did it in 3 weeks behind closed doors and nobody knew about this, good deal.
Mark Haskins is hurt. He has some neck problems, but Progress is going to be filled with an 11/27 show with a tournament, including a match between Matt Riddle and Will Ospreay.
Now,
reaction.
Now, that's going to be crazy. My feeling that I thought this has been the year of Ospreay. And your boy Riddle from the Monster Factory, the world famous Monster Factory, is now with one of the biggest tests of his career, probably the biggest test of his career to date, in facing Ospreay. This could be awesome. This could be tremendous in every possible way. And I really think these two guys can really go in the ring together and show good chemistry together. I like their style, so I think this could be a very entertaining match.
Ray Phoenix has separated shoulder. Phoenix. Let's see what else is there to delve into before we delve into Power Struggle, which is in 2 days on New Japan World.
And not only that, the UFC thing is this Saturday, isn't it?
Oh, right! It's next Saturday.
Yeah, it's next week. Okay.
So we'll preview that next week.
Okay.
So we have the card for Power Struggle. It's a strong card, I would say. So here's the card. Hiroyoshi Tenzan, Juice Robinson, and Satoshi Kojima versus Manabu Nakanishi, Yuji Nagata, and Teruki Kanamitsu in your dark match. Then we had Angel Del Oro Fuego, Rasuke, Taguchi, and Teton versus David Finlay, Liger, Ricochet, and Tiger Mask. The Bullet Club, oh, this is going to be awful, of Bone Soldier,
Chase Owens.
a.k.a. Captain New Japan.
Yep. Chase Owens.
And Yujiro Takahashi versus Togi Makabe, Tomoaki Hanma, and Yoshidatsu. Gorillas of Destiny, God. Oh, God. Good God.
Which is worse for you? Which one of these two is worse?
Which one of these teams are worse? The Bone Soldier, Yujiro, and Chase Owens. Chase Owens is actually good. So.
Okay. So Chase Owens
And Tama Tonga's okay.
So at least Owens and Tonga can kind of save it. But other than that...
Versus, at least Ishii's in this match.
Okay.
Ishii and Yoshihashi.
Yeah, that's for the IWGP Tag Team Championships.
Yeah, Yoshitatsu's awful. Makabe hasn't been himself. And
Right.
Hanma is okay.
Yes.
ACH and Taishi Ishimori versus Roppongi Vice.
This is the finals of the Super Junior Tag Team Tournament.
And the winner gets a shot at the Young Bucks.
Right.
Bushi versus Kushida for the IWGP.
Junior Heavyweight Championship. Obviously, Bushi's still your champion there.
Bushi's still your champion. Bullet Club.
Now the Bullet Club A-Team.
Bullet Club A-Team. The
Cole,
Dream Team.
Cole,
the
Omega,
Elite.
and the Bucks.
Versus Gato, Goto, Ospreay, and Okada. That's going to be great.
Ooh, I like this. Okay, so now you're pretty much teasing Okada and Omega, and you're teasing Ospreay and Cole, and then you have Gato and Jado see what they can do against the Bucks. So that's a whole lot of stories involved in this match.
Gato and Ospreay. Not Gato and Jado.
Yeah, Gato and Ospreay, you're right.
Katsuyori Shibata versus Evil. This should be a hard-hitting match for the Never Openweight Championship.
I think two guys that are very fit for that title battling for it. I think it makes a whole lot of sense.
Tanahashi versus Hanada.
That's a number one-on-one. And in the main event, you have there
Jay
is
Lethal
versus Naito for the IWGP Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Yeah, for IWGP Intercontinental title.
No way Lethal's winning, but...
No, but at least they'll put on a really good fight because obviously Lethal's focus is getting back the Ring of Honor World title from Cole. So as I'm sure Kyle O'Reilly will be paying very close attention to said match, said 8-man tag with the 4 best members of the Bullet Club.
Yes, so... New Japan... Michael Elgin surgery to repair a blown-out orbital bone at King of Pro Wrestling.
Ooh.
Remember the kick?
Yeah.
He was able to fly home, but his eye was still swollen. He'll be hopefully back in the ring.
His hip is pretty sore too, but he should be back soon.
December or Tokyo.
Or start of the new year.
Start of the new year. And Tokyo Dome tickets were available in every price range. Let's see the Power Struggle. Does they have an advance on it? I heard the show sold out. Actually, Power Struggle. So that's good.
It's a productive card though. It is a very good card.
ACH and ROH decided to part ways.
That's interesting. I think ACH can be a very good player in various companies. He can be a good player in a lot of different places.
And let's go to any WWE news and notes. We talked about the quarter 3 results last week.
Yeah, and there was the let's see, what was the thing about Charlotte? I was saying it earlier, like they wanted to build up Charlotte and keep her strong to say like, whoever beats Charlotte, it's a huge deal because Charlotte doesn't lose pay-per-view matches. So like the thought is maybe Charlotte holds it till WrestleMania and then Charlotte finally loses then and finally loses a match then. Or maybe that could be the furthest it goes.
And
TLC's all Smackdown, but we already knew this. This is from Dallas.
And Austin Aries got injured.
Yeah, he saw the giant lump on his eye.
That was ugly.
That giant lump on his eye, the giant marshmallow, also known as his right eye. It was which effectively led to the Dusty Rhodes Invitational being a little different for that portion. And we'll get to that when we get to NXT.
Stephanie McMahon was on the chew. Who cares? They applied for trademarks for Bobby Roode and Cedric Alexander, and Drew Gulak and Tony Nese.
So clearly they see big things from all 4 guys. That's a good look.
Let's see. The NXT shows in Australia are doing well. The Spear Squad isn't expecting a deal, but they've just put themselves on the market as a tag team to work independent dates, booked by both Barons.
Yep.
And do your occasional WWE shot. WWE Raw.
Now to Raw. Raw started with a bang, at least.
Goldberg
came out and immediately tried to address Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman then came out to immediately just address Goldberg, like we kind of knew what was coming. Goldberg then got trolled. Everyone got trolled that Brock Lesnar was in the building, which we knew he wasn't because they would have obviously promoted this. And then Rusev basically got served up on a silver platter to Goldberg. And Goldberg dropped him with a jackhammer, which even Goldberg admitted he was rusty. And Goldberg promptly speared Heyman. He didn't look rusty on the spear. He did look rusty on the jackhammer.
Yeah.
So we saw that. And clearly Goldberg was getting ready for Survivor Series. As we see it, we're going to see it in like 3 weeks now. That's amazing. Trick or Treat Street Fight, Luke Gallows and Enzo.
I like this, actually.
I actually did too.
I like this. I thought it was campy and all, but I was like, this was creative.
This was actually kind of fun.
And they made a Smashing Pumpkins reference, which was funny.
The trolling of Billy Corgan.
Yes.
And Billy Corgan, that's probably a third L for Billy Corgan too. Wow, 3 L's in a week. That's pretty bad for you, man. This was actually one of those things that was actually funny. And it made a lot of sense. And then Cass doing his thing to get involved. And Carl Anderson getting involved here. It made a lot of sense. And even the DDG, which looked horrible because of the giant pumpkin on Gallows' big head, even that it made sense. It was funny. The pumpkin was just too small. But Enzo gets the win there. It was actually kind of funny.
It was. They finally got a serious push, but they get bad comedy. But it was okay bad comedy. Yeah, it wasn't like shake my head bad comedy.
It was funny and probably something that it was funny, but probably something that probably shouldn't be watched over and over again. That type of comedy.
Brian Kendrick versus DJ Perkins.
Perkins at least showed a little bit more anger this time.
This was short.
It probably needed to be. At least Perkins showed a little bit more of a killer instinct because he knew he got hustled on Sunday night in Boston. And Perkins wins by count out, but obviously Kendrick didn't care because the defendant didn't lose the title. He can't lose the title, obviously, by count out. So Kendrick did what heels do. He took the easier way out. So we keep moving. So it was pretty simple.
Mick Foley talks Hell in a Cell.
And as a whole, I don't know. Was this pay-per-view better than Backlash? Oh, not Backlash. No Mercy?
No. Hell no. I
mean, No Mercy had a match of the year at Miz and Ziggler, but after that match,
the triple threat was very good.
The triple threat was very good. But after those 2 matches, what do you have?
No,
because you didn't have the women's title match, and Orton Bray closed it, and we both agreed Orton Bray shouldn't have closed it.
No.
So what else did you have?
I would take No Mercy because it was an easier watch. It was only 2.5 hours.
True, and Talking Smack closed the deal. Fair. Raw, the Hell in a Cell probably was a half hour too long.
Yeah,
I
almost fell asleep during Hell in a Cell. I fell asleep during.
I paid a lot more attention to the Eagles Cowboys, but
I was paying attention to the Eagles Cowboys too. That game,
the way it ended was ugly for all of you. So there was no coffee. Yeah, no free coffee.
No free coffee.
Okay. Yeah. So Foley talking Hell in a Cell, and then we got to the business at hand of we're getting closer to Survivor Series, which hence the point of it didn't. They kind of moved on. Onward and upward towards Survivor Series and naming the Survivor Series teams to take on SmackDown. So, they really got in the business of naming the men's team. And Jericho and Owens effectively co-captained it. Well, really, Owens is captain, and Jericho's kind of like is the first in line, is the first lieutenant. Roman Reigns got named to the team, and then we saw Braun Strowman win a Battle Royal, and he laid waste to half the people in it to make it onto the squad. So Strowman is the 4th member of the team. So we figure who's the 5th.
And there was an image going around that had Sami Zayn as the 5th member.
Which should be interesting. So that would be entertaining. And then you saw, so that happens. That was the men's team. The women's team was captained by Charlotte, obviously. And Nia and Bayley were named members of the team. And they promptly faced off because Charlotte wanted to test Bayley and see what Charlotte could do, what Bayley could do. And Nia made very quick work of Bayley, though they had a good match. Nia did her thing and put Bayley down for 3, so that was the end of that. And let's see, so we got those 3 women are on the SmackDown, the Raw women's team.
The SmackDown women's team is already full.
We'll get to the SmackDown one in a moment.
Nikki, Becky, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, and Naomi,
and Natalia's coach. So we'll go. So those were the 5.
And
I'm not sure I'm okay with Nikki as captain over Becky. Considering Becky's the champion. I don't know.
I like the SmackDown team a lot.
The SmackDown team is a lot better
team.
than Raw. The SmackDown male team is broken.
The SmackDown male team is awesome.
That is broken.
I'm like
Styles, Ambrose, Orton, Wyatt, and Baron Corbin because you need somebody with size to deal with Strowman. So that team is hacked. It's so many.
Wow, it's Owens, Jericho, for Sami Zayn.
Owens, Jericho, Strowman, Reigns.
And Zayn.
And then you're figuring Zayn if you're going to go Zayn or Rollins. But it's unless you're going to have Rollins against Ziggler. So I guess that works too.
Yeah, you need to have somebody.
I'll go Zayn against Ziggler. I go Zayn Ziggler. I think that'd be a much more entertaining match. Even though Rollins Ziggler would be good, I go Zayn and Ziggler.
The New Day Halloween.
I actually thought it was funny.
God,
you didn't enjoy this? I thought this was funny.
No,
I love the whole the Godfather thing. I love the whole the 3 Faces of Charles Wright thing. I thought that was funny. I thought that was creative. I was with that. So they're going to captain the Raw team, and we don't even know who the other 4 teams are. I mean, we can assume it's going to be Anderson and Gallows, Enzo Cass, Cesaro, Sheamus, and then pick a 5th. Which I'm praying it's not Primo and Epico. I don't think they have a choice.
Or Golden Truth.
Or Golden Truth, which again, they don't have a choice.
They don't have a choice.
They don't have a choice. And then both the SmackDown, who...
You have Alpha.
We know Alpha won their way in by beating... Usos won their way in. And then we have Slater, Rhino, who were the captains.
And the Hype Bros.
And the Hype Bros, who won their way in earlier. So SmackDown only needs one more team.
And I think it will probably be either who? Ascension lost to Hype Bros. So probably Vaudevillains. It probably has to be the Vaudevillains. Okay, so we covered all that. Other than that, on Raw, let's see. Nobody can pull on the list because Jericho didn't feel like putting anyone on the list. The 6-man cruiserweight match.
6-man cruiserweight match was not bad. Not overly memorable, but not bad. Let's see here. Yeah, it was Swan, Dorado, and Seti versus Nice, Gulak, and Daivari. Basically, a rematch from Hell in a Cell.
Swan instead of Sin Cara.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Basically, we didn't see too much different. Let's see. Charlotte did her thing. I like Charlotte's promo. Again, I love both entrances from the Hell in a Cell, and I love Charlotte's entrance coming in the Raw with the whole Queen entrance. I thought that was pretty...
and shout out to Cody Vance, who was one of the... holders of from the Monster Factory. That's dope.
That was dope. Well done. They did a very good job. Sheamus and Cesaro as a team, they worked out pretty well. In the Battle Royal, they did not. As Cesaro eliminated Sheamus from the Battle Royal, and as Strowman eliminated Cesaro almost immediately thereafter. But obviously, they still have some kinks to work out there as a team. Let's see. The main event was Rusev.
Nia Jackson Bayley. Let's forget about that.
I already explained it in short order.
We have to explain Cesaro, Sheamus versus the Shining Stars.
Do we?
No. They defeated them.
Yeah, Cesaro. Yeah, they laid waste to Shining Stars pretty quickly. Okay, so let's see here. We've got the U.S. title match between Jericho and Reigns. Actually, was not bad. A little bit of involvement from Kevin Owens, as we expected, but it was too much Reigns in the end with the spear. Dropping Jericho for 3, preventing Jericho from winning the U.S. title and effectively owning every match. Which is from SummerSlam, a little bit of an oldie, but a goodie. Still a goodie. Still funny. I mean, and then we got a 2-on-1 beatdown with the pop-up code breaker to Reigns, and then Rollins kind of coming out to make the save, and then a little bit of nostalgia with the Shield, with Rollins and Reigns kind of not beating each other up. Kind of uniting for a greater good. So that was interesting.
And the oldie but goodie.
The oldie but goodie, but Kevin Owens doing the Enzo shuffle, which is hilarious.
Smackdown
clown Raw in every possible way, pretty much. This was not even fair. Let's see, except for the intro, because Goldberg doing his thing was actually good. So the No DQ match, Orton and Kane. Apparently Orton is a Wyatt family member. I guess he's full-fledged. I guess we're going this route. So this was quick, and much quicker than it probably should have been. Wyatt and Harper came out to the ring to try to distract Kane. It semi-worked. Looked like Kane was going to chokeslam Harper. Kane was going to chokeslam Wyatt, I should say. It led to an RKO. Orton wins the match. But it's after the match where things picked up. Harper did his discus clothesline, and then Harper was going to serve serve Kane up to Bray. Instead, Orton shoved Harper out of the way, and he did the serving of Kane to Bray. Sister Abigail. Orton does his pose while Bray and Harper do their thing. And now it gets the plot's getting a little bit more thick, as it looks like Orton's joined the Wyatts, and he fits with the Wyatts considering his devious side. It just doesn't. Bray's been through this before. He thinks he has a new recruit, and the new recruit destroys him. So he's been through this before. Well, Bray fought for it again. We get the tag match: Carmella and Alexa versus Nikki and Becky, which was actually pretty good. I like how Carmella and Alexa, especially Alexa, they're really getting themselves comfortable in the ring. And once again, it was Alexa getting the jump on Becky and putting Becky down for 3 with a DDT. And then the post-match promo that Carmella and Alexa did after the match, focusing on the 2 women involved that they're dealing with, Carmella with Nikki and Alexa with Becky next week. I loved it. I thought it was well done. So well done by the heel women involved in this situation. That was well done.
And then Miz and Daniel Bryan, American Alpha vs. Spirit Squad was nothing.
It was effectively nothing to write home about. It was pretty quick. Grand Apple 2 finished the deal. So American Alpha goes on to the Survivor Series match. It was pretty simple.
And then Miz TV with Daniel Bryan,
which got heated real quick when Miz found out he wasn't on the male Survivor Series team. And this was clearly if only Daniel Bryan could wrestle. These two need to wrestle at WrestleMania. Bryan and Miz, they need to go at the Mania. It'd be so good. The build-up is so good. So Ziggler comes out, and okay, Bryan's like, all right, so Miz, you won't take your IC title rematch. Ziggler will just defend it against the Open Challenger. The Open Challenger was
face the facts, man. Face the facts.
We're gonna face the facts and say, Hawkins, you should guard your chin. And Dolph proceeded to kick you in your chin and knock you cold. 1, 2, 3. Ziggler wins the definition of a squash match and then promptly challenges any member from Raw for the Intercontinental Championship. At which point, Miz and JBL snap. Like, you gotta be kidding me. If you lose, that title goes to Raw, and the one title left is the WWE Championship. That ends horribly for SmackDown if Ziggler loses. So that's a very big gamble for Dolph. We talked about the Team Survivor Series match. We talked about the Usos being the headbangers. This was short, so we'll just keep moving.
Then the main event.
Which was funny because the whole night was about James Ellsworth. And we all thought...
I love this show being built around James Ellsworth.
I secretly thought Ambrose was going to just beat the snot out of him. I really did. I thought AJ was just going to videotape the whole thing and just keep moving. Instead, Ambrose just tried to lock him out of the building. And then Ellsworth comes back in. He hops over the barricade and kind of first he distracted Ambrose, and Ambrose gets caught with a Pele, so he almost gets pinned off that. Security comes in, and they basically jog all around the building. So basically you get a workout with Ellsworth. And they jog all around the building. Ellsworth then reappears somehow and distracts AJ long enough so AJ has to basically bulldoze him over the table into Ronaldo. So then, as he tried to do like he did earlier in the night, as he attacked Ellsworth earlier, he tried to give Ambrose another phenomenal forearm. Instead, Ambrose clearly caught him with a low blow, and the ref saw it and chose not to disqualify him, and then dropped him with a dirty deeds. So Ambrose wins the match. Ambrose's prize is the tables, ladders, and chairs match with AJ Styles for the title at TLC next month. So that's Ambrose's prize. That would have been Ambrose's last shot, regardless of what Ellsworth would have done or would not have done. So Ellsworth, who effectively got knocked out by AJ Styles, it looked like dude didn't know if he was in New York, New Orleans, or New Jersey, but he was knocked out as he was dragged up the way by the security. Ambrose wins. JBL freaked out. It was hilarious. Ellsworth avenged what he did last week. It was tremendous. Ellsworth is just gold right now. He's money right now. He's the more Ellsworth, the better on SmackDown. It's just hilarious. So SmackDown Clown Raw, as we've said before many times on this particular show, but this was very true this week, very evident, except for the beginning, because Goldberg was Goldberg. Other SmackDown business to attend to. Undertaker will appear on the 900th episode of SmackDown, which happens to fall the Thursday before Survivor Series. So Undertaker will be appearing at that particular show, number 900 for SmackDown. So that would be a big-time appearance for the Dead Man. As we've seen, he's already been. He was at the Cavalier game last week where they hoisted the banner. He's doing DDP yoga apparently, which him and his wife Michelle, and they're doing the DDP yoga, doing their thing. So that's a good look for Undertaker to be there. Now to NXT, which is basically about the Dusty Rhodes Invitational. So we saw the video of Austin Aries revealing what happened to his eye and the giant marshmallow that is his right eye, which led to a very intriguing situation. So, Regal decided to say, okay, either member of TM61 will face Roddy Strong, and whichever guy wins, their team advances. So, Shane Thorne decided to take the challenge against Roddy Strong. And though Aries got involved, Thorne was not deterred. Thorne would get the pin on Roddy Strong, and TM61 moves on to the next round, to the semis.
Yes.
Yep, so we'll get to who they face in a moment. Next up, we got to the Authors of Pain versus No Way Jose and Rich Swann. The speed of Swann and Jose was very evident throughout the match, and even Ellering had to get involved in the match to kind of turn the tide a little bit towards Authors of Pain. But once the Authors of Pain were able to catch Swann and Alexander, Jose and Swann, it was too much Authors of Pain. They led the last chapter on a surprised Jose who had no idea there was a tag, and they would get the last pin there, so they will move on to the next round. I believe they're facing TM61 now. Actually, no. They're facing... Yeah, we'll get to who they're facing next week, but it's going to be a great match. Let's see here. We got Sanity facing Eric... We had Sanity facing Perkins and Ibushi, which turned out to be a productive match, probably the third... The worst of the three that actually happened. And Sanity would get it done. And it actually put Ibushi in the process. They took out Perkins first and made it the 2-on-1 with Ibushi. And in the end, it was Ibushi that would get pinned. So then Sanity will move on. So they will face TM61 on one side of the bracket. And the other side is going to have the Office of Pain, as I mentioned before. And they're going to face DIY. And what would have been the anticipated rematch of DIY versus the Revival did not happen because Scott Dawson hurt his knee, blew up his knee. It's not serious, not torn ACL. It's not Rollins bad. He didn't tear his ACL. But it's still ugly for a couple weeks. So DIY won't be, by forfeit, they lost the match. So they basically got a bye. DIY got a bye as the Revival had to forfeit. So your final four is Authors of Pain and DIY, and then Sanity and TM61. So there's your final four. I had Authors of Pain winning this from the rip. I'll stick with Authors of Pain.
And the match in Toronto will be Authors of Pain versus
TM61, as
TM61.
apparently the tapings have already happened. So we'll see them next week, but the tapings have already happened. So Authors of Pain and TM61, which actually is a rematch of post-Brooklyn, of what happened in Brooklyn when they faced off there. So next week we'll end up getting the two semis, and then the contract signed between Joe and Shinsuke, who will actually be in the building, which they'll probably need every officer in the state of Florida to make sure they don't kill each other.
yes.
So that was NXT, a productive NXT. Nothing necessarily to truly write home about, but a productive NXT nonetheless.
And Game 7.
Game 7, obviously it's a non-wrestling thing, but Game 7 was a classic. This one,
I couldn't wait to talk to you. I couldn't wait till Monday to talk to you about this.
Game 7 was an absolute classic. It was amazing. There was so much to it. There were so many stories. First of all, this needed Game 7.
Yeah,
This
did.
series needed a Game 7. It needed to go this route. These two teams have suffered so much. What are 9 more innings? But then again, we got more innings than that. And a rain
We got
delay.
free baseball.
We got free baseball and a rain delay. So here's how this went down. It all started with Dexter Fowler, homer, the first guy to do a leadoff home run in a very long time in a Game 7 in the World Series. So it was that's how this game even started against Corey Kluber. The Cubs would jump up. The Indians would get it back. They got it back in the third inning, even the game at 1. Then the Cubs went to work. The Cubs proceeded to make it 2, and then 3, and then 4. Bias with a homer, and then 5, and then it was 5-1, as ugly as 5-1. Bias's homer took out Corey Kluber. So 5-1, and then the Indians started to come back. It became 5-3 with a crazy wild pitch where the ball would basically play pinball with the Cubs, and it ended up being 5-3. The Cubs would get one of the runs back with a homer by Ross. So now it's 6-3. And we're thinking, okay, Cubs only got 2 innings to go. They just have to get through 2 innings, and they're going to be okay.
They put in Chapman.
Who for some reason they burned out in Game 6 and made him pitch several innings. I didn't love this at all, and this turned out to get much, much weirder. So honestly, we had the game on in the store while the Flyers were winning, and while the Flyers were doing their thing, and the Flyers ended up stealing the game from Detroit. Let's call it what it is.
It was thievery.
It was a heist. They stole the game from Detroit.
Hey, at least the Flyers are off to a good start.
Flyers 5-1. Not a terrible start.
Not a terrible start as the years past. This is a good start for the Flyers.
The Flyers, and they've shown what the common denominator with the Flyers has been, that this team does not quit. They're resilient, and no lead is safe. You saw the Chicago game. We were down 4 goals and made all 4 of them up in a span of 7 minutes. This team does not quit. So that's one thing you take from the Flyers, to put the Islanders tonight up in Brooklyn. Back to business. Back to the World Series. So the Indians scored a wild pitch. It's 5-3. Cubs get it back with the Ross homer I mentioned before, 6-3. And then it's 6-4. And now at the bottom of the eighth is happening, and Chapman at this point is kind of burned out. Chapman's running out of steam. And the Indians get one back with a Geyer double, which allows Ramirez to score. And then Rajay Davis, of all people, a guy who doesn't hit homers.
Hits a homer.
He homers. It barely cleared the left field fence. And we watched the game. We watched that homer as we were closing up the store. We turned it back on. I heard people from the pavilion were freaking out, like, "Oh, this game is tied. It's a tie game." Like, we couldn't believe what we were seeing. Like, this game was tied at 6. So now it's 6-6. We get through the 8th. We get through the 9th. Nothing happens. And then
rain delay.
And then it starts to rain.
It starts to rain in the bottom.
The baseball gods didn't want to add any more drama to this, A. It didn't want to torture those 2 teams and those fan bases enough, B. They added a rain delay, which lasted about 15 minutes or so. 17 minutes, something like that. Which effectively killed the momentum of the Indians. Because it looked like the Indians were going to win the game and win the title before this rain delay. The Indians had all the momentum. Everything was cool for Cleveland. So we get to the 10th, and the Cubs go to work. So the Cubs, Ben Zobrist, with the biggest hit of his life, gets a 2 RBI single with the bases loaded. Actually gets the RBI single, keeps the train rolling.
And then Miguel Montero of all people.
Miguel Montero gets another single to follow up, also keeps the train rolling. And the bases loaded for a lot of the 10th inning. But the Cubs only got 2. So it made it 8-6. The Indians, Rajay Davis again comes up in the bottom half of the 10th inning, gets a single, and he got the second. He was at second base when the time run is in scoring position with 2 outs. But again, a former Philly and
Michael White, one of the worst hitters in life. One of the worst hitters in Major League history.
One of the worst hitters in life. Mike Martinez legitimately is the last batter. He grounds out to Chris Bryant. Bryant throws him out. It looked like a tough play because the ball was hit kind of slow. But Martinez doesn't have that kind of speed, so it was turned out to be a much easier play than we expected.
It came down to Michael Martinez.
It did. Terry Francona went back to the past, went back to his Phillies roots, and brought in Mike Martinez.
Oh, God.
I don't know why he went that route. No one knows why he went that route. That was baffling. Nonetheless, Mike Martinez ground ball to Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant throws out to Anthony Rizzo.
The party was on in Chicago.
They're still partying. What you mean?
They're still
partying. What you mean? There are reaction videos everywhere. Cubs win the World Series. The world hasn't ended. We're not in a dream. This is not some SIG 10-year-old fantasy, though there were people apparently who predicted this. The Cubs did win the World Series. For the first time in 108 years, the Chicago Cubs are World Series champions. Yes, we did see this coming. Yes, we did have the Cubs win the World Series from the start of the year. You remember from the start of the year, I think we all picked the Cubs to win the title. We varied on who we thought they'd beat to get it, but we did not vary on the Cubs winning the World Series. But the fact that it actually happened makes you think, man, we were just a part of something we didn't think we'd ever see. And a game that was fitting, that needed to be as good as it was, and needed to be as special as it was, and needed to bring out all that torture and pain and wring it out from that entire fan base. Cleveland got their moment with the Cavaliers. They got their moment with Cleveland and with the Cavs. And getting an Indians title would have been a bonus. But the Cubs getting it the way they did and having to deal with all that torture and all that pain to get it.
Oh my God, that was so much drama.
It was so much drama, and it needed to be that. It couldn't be 10-1. It couldn't be like Game 6, where Addison Russell carried them through Game 6. Ben Zobrist won MVP, by the way. It couldn't carry them. It couldn't be like Game 6, where the game was over in the 5th inning. It couldn't be like that. That's not how this story ended. That's not how the story needed to end. This needed to end with as much drama and as much pandemonium and as many nervous stomachs and as many people who are nervous wrecks, as many people in tears, as many people like grinding their fingers into their nails. Like, this needed to end the way it did. And the only thing more that could have happened is if Martinez somehow got into one and hit one deep to the warning track and made this even more suspenseful. That's the only other thing that could have happened. Or Rajai Davis was thrown out at the plate. Something like that. That's the only other way this could have ended. Aside from that, I think the baseball gods did the right thing. This needed to be this way. So congratulations to the Cubs. You win the World Series. And this is one of the 5 to 10 greatest baseball games we've ever seen. Let's call it what it is. This is one of the 5 to 10 greatest baseball games we've ever seen. So settle it in. And the only Cub fan that took an L was the Facebook video I shared of like about an hour and change ago, with the Cubs fan squared up with the Indians fan who did not know the rules of hand down, man down, and was basically put to sleep. It was basically put to sleep. That's basically the only Cub fan that took an L and probably doesn't even remember that the Cubs won the World Series. So that's pretty
You probably woke up in the morning and he's like, yes!
Yep, but you got to put a World Star too. So you got to put a World Star for getting knocked out. But yeah, there are many reaction videos. There's one outside of Wrigley, which is really good. And a whole lot of people did reaction videos. We're playing one right now where there's a Game 7 live reaction where they're in the 8th inning. It's 6-6. And they're out. That's in Cleveland, by the way. And really, props to the Chicago fans who spent thousands of dollars to get those tickets in Cleveland. They outnumber the Indians fans. They badly outnumbered the Indians fans. It was hilarious. They took over that town. And
on Facebook, you have the last moments.
Yeah, you have the last. Yeah, Fox actually. Somebody. It's got.
It's on MLB Fox.
It's got 1.5 million views. It's one. Yeah, man, MLB on Fox actually posted this. Thank you, baseball, for actually taking down your restrictions on this, because you guys need to be stupid crazy with it. We can't even call it Throwback Thursday. Well, we kind of can't because it happened last night. But it's got 1.5 million views. It hasn't been up for 12 hours. The game ended at 12:30 last night. And you see the reactions. Yeah, so they're looking at the scoreboard, the giant scoreboard there on top. And I'm sure they got radio. They're sure they're on radios and whatever. These are reactions of people in the bars and surrounded by in Wrigleyville. Actually, I'm going to watch this video in its entirety later. Oh, full disclosure, while we're stuck on this in sports, no lounge on Monday. I will be going home and then go to Miami after this. I'll be flying to Miami later today, so there'll be no lounge. I'll actually be on my way back into the city by the time the lounge would normally happen. So I will not. There'll be no lounge. So I will do Facebook videos and whatnot over the weekend and do it like that. So, but there will be no actual lounge on Monday. Yeah. So that's something y'all should know.
I'm trying to see the moment that they won.
Yes, that's right after the Indians scored, Rajai Davis. And this is, I think this was during the pitching change. No, this wasn't during the pitching change. Yep, here we go. So the first pitch was thrown, and
then they cut to Bill Murray.
They cut to Bill Murray, who had tears of joy.
It's like cut weird.
Yeah, they edited it enough to not show the play, but they edited it too much to not show the actual official reaction of it. There are a lot of other reaction videos online of people reacting to the actual play as a trophy presentation. You see that. You see the Cubs.
The champagne celebration was insane.
Yeah, so you see the Cubs win the title there. So it was tremendous. So we go in Cleveland from the Cavaliers coming back from 3-1 to win a title to the Indians blowing a 3-1 lead to win the to lose the title.
Yeah.
In baseball. So a tale of two seasons.
And Anthony Rizzo pocketed the baseball right away.
As he should have. As he should have. I mean, granted, they'll probably be in some museum in Chicago somewhere very quickly. But I completely agree with him pocketing the ball. I completely agree with that.
The Indians have done it before. Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series! Bryant makes the play! It's over! And the Cubs have finally won it all! 8-7-10.
'Congratulations, Cubs! You're in the title.
That was a great baseball game.
Yes.
I was emotionally invested.
One of the greatest baseball games of all time. Congratulations, Chicago. You did when you earned this world title. You came back for 3-1 to win it too.
So this was a mini sports lounge as well.
Yep. So there will be no actual lounge on Monday, as I mentioned. I will be actually coming back from Miami during the time of the normal lounge. So let's look out for that. So I will. There will be no normal lounge on Monday. I'll be back the following Monday. But obviously, probably throw some banter on who wins the election, and we'll go through like we normally go through. So
I'm praying.
I think we all kind of are at this point. I mean, like, the funniest thing I've seen was, like...
He's winning in polls now!
Yeah. It's...
He's winning!
Yeah. It's going to be a crazy next 5 days. As if we haven't seen enough from...
The Cubs won the freaking World Series, and Donald Trump could be president.
What an age we live in. For good, for better, and for worse.
And for better and for worse.
So that'll do it for us. So I guess we'll see you next week, I suppose.
Yeah, it's 11:23 on Monco Radio, where music reminds me.